In this enchanted land lived a young prince named Adrian, known for his bravery and kind heart. One crisp autumn morning, Prince Adrian set out on his loyal steed Midnight to explore the mysterious forest that bordered his homeland. As he ventured deeper into the forest, Adrian discovered an ancient tree that held a beautifully crafted horn. This enchanted horn had the power to summon mythical creatures to aid those in need. Tonight, allow the calming narrative to guide you into a peaceful slumber as we follow Prince Adrian's journey. Picture the magical forest. Feel the presence of the majestic unicorn Lumina, the playful griffins Alien and Saphira, and the graceful phoenix Pyra. Let the gentle words and serene imagery lull you into a state of relaxation. Feel the enchantment of the hidden glade and the ancient magic that surrounds our young prince as he embarks on his greatest adventure. Chapter 1. The Discovery. In a faraway kingdom nestled between snow-capped mountains and emerald green valleys, there lived a young prince named Adrian. Known for his bravery and kind heart, Adrian often ventured into the mysterious forest that bordered his homeland. This forest, dense with towering trees and thick underbrush, was a place few dared to explore. Tales of magical creatures and hidden treasures whispered through the halls of the royal castle, fueling Adrian's adventurous spirit. On a crisp autumn morning, Prince Adrian set out on his loyal steed, Midnight. The black stallion moved gracefully, its hooves barely making a sound on the leaf-strewn path. The air was filled with the scent of pine and the distant call of woodland birds, creating a symphony of nature that only deepened Adrian's sense of wonder. As they ventured deeper into the forest, the trees grew taller and the light dimmer. Shafts of sunlight pierced through the canopy, casting an ethereal glow on the forest floor. Adrian's eyes scanned the surroundings, his senses heightened by the silence that enveloped them. He had heard many stories about this part of the forest, stories of enchanted glades and ancient secrets waiting to be discovered. Midnight whinnied softly, as if sensing something ahead. Adrian gently patted the horse's neck, urging him forward. The path became narrower, winding through thick clusters of ferns and moss-covered rocks. Adrian felt a strange pull, an inexplicable urge to keep moving forward. It was as if the forest itself was guiding him towards something remarkable. After hours of riding, they arrived at a secluded glade, hidden away from the rest of the world. The glade was a place of serene beauty, with wildflowers in full bloom and sunlight filtering through the leaves in golden streams. A gentle breeze rustled the branches, creating a soothing melody that seemed to welcome Adrian. In the center of the glade stood an ancient tree, its trunk gnarled and twisted with age. The tree's branches spread wide like a protective canopy, its leaves shimmering with an otherworldly glow. Adrian dismounted from Midnight and approached the tree, his curiosity piqued. He could feel the magic in the air, a tangible presence that sent a shiver down his spine. As he circled the tree, Adrian noticed a hollow in its trunk. From within the hollow, a faint, warm light emanated, casting a soft glow on his face. He reached inside, his fingers brushing against something smooth and cool. Gently, he pulled out a beautifully crafted horn, adorned with intricate carvings and symbols of mythical creatures. The horn felt warm to the touch, as if it possessed a life of its own. Adrian held the horn up to the light, marveling at its craftsmanship. He recalled the old tales of an enchanted horn that could summon mythical creatures to aid those in need. Could this be the very horn from the legends? His heart raced with excitement at the thought of the adventures that awaited him. Taking a deep breath, Adrian brought the horn to his lips and blew into it. A melodic, haunting sound echoed through the forest, reverberating through the trees. The sound was both beautiful and powerful, carrying with it a sense of ancient magic. Moments later, the ground began to tremble. From the shadows of the forest emerged majestic creatures. A wise old unicorn with a shimmering mane, a pair of playful yet powerful griffins, and a graceful phoenix with feathers ablaze. Each creature greeted Adrian with a nod, acknowledging the call of the enchanted horn. Prince Adrian stood in awe, realizing that his life was about to change in ways he could never have imagined. With the enchanted horn in his possession and his new mythical friends by his side, he was ready to embark on the greatest adventure of his life. The sun hung high in the sky, casting dappled shadows across the glade as Prince Adrian stood among his newfound mythical companions. The air was filled with a sense of wonder and anticipation. He felt a deep connection to this place, as if the glade itself held ancient secrets and unseen magic. Adrian gently stroked the mane of the unicorn, its silvery strands glistening in the sunlight. "What should I call you?" he asked softly. The unicorn lowered its head, its deep blue eyes meeting Adrian's. "I am called Lumina." The unicorn's voice echoed in Adrian's mind, clear and serene. "We have awaited your arrival, Prince Adrian." Adrian smiled, feeling a warmth in his heart. He turned to the griffins, who were playfully tussling in the grass. "And what are your names?" he inquired. The larger of the two griffins, with golden feathers and piercing green eyes, stepped forward. "I am Alien, and this is my sister Saphira," he said, nodding towards the smaller griffin with deep sapphire feathers and amber eyes. The phoenix, perched gracefully on a nearby branch, spread its fiery wings, casting a radiant glow. "I am Pyra," it declared in a voice that crackled like a gentle fire. "Together, we are here to aid you on your journey." Adrian's mind raced with possibilities. He knew that with these extraordinary beings by his side, he could accomplish great feats. But first, he needed to understand the true power of the enchanted horn and the bond it created with these mythical creatures. "How did you know I would come?" Adrian asked, curiosity evident in his voice. Lumina stepped forward, her hooves barely making a sound on the soft grass. "The horn has been waiting for one with a pure heart and noble intentions," she explained. "It chose you because it sensed your bravery and kindness. We are bound by the magic of the horn, and we will aid you in your endeavors." As they spoke, Adrian felt a deep sense of responsibility settling over him. He knew that this discovery was not merely for his own amusement, but for a greater purpose. He needed to protect his kingdom and the people he loved. "We should return to the castle," Adrian said, determination in his eyes. "My father, King Leopold, must be informed of this discovery. Together we can decide how best to use the power of the horn." His mythical friends nodded in agreement, their loyalty and readiness evident. Adrian climbed back onto Midnight, who neighed in approval, sensing the excitement in the air. With a final glance at the hidden glade, they set off towards the castle. As they travelled, the forest seemed less daunting and more enchanting. The presence of Lumina, Elian, Saphira, and Pyra filled Adrian with a sense of hope and wonder. They moved swiftly, the creature's natural grace and strength guiding them effortlessly through the forest. By the time they reached the castle gates, the sun was beginning its descent, casting a warm golden light over the kingdom. The guards, accustomed to Adrian's frequent excursions, were taken aback by the sight of the mythical creatures accompanying him. Whispers of awe and amazement spread quickly among the castle staff. King Leopold was in the grand hall when Adrian arrived, discussing matters of state with his advisors. The king's eyes widened in surprise as he saw his son enter, flanked by the majestic creatures. "Adrian, what is the meaning of this?" the king asked, rising from his throne. Adrian stepped forward, holding the enchanted horn with reverence. "Father, I have discovered the legendary horn that can summon mythical creatures," he announced. "These are my new friends, and they have pledged to help us in our times of need." King Leopold listened intently as Adrian recounted his journey into the forest and the discovery of the horn. The advisors exchanged glances, their skepticism giving way to wonder as Lumina, Alien, Saphira, and Pyra demonstrated their abilities. The king's expression softened, a mixture of pride and awe on his face. "Adrian, you have brought us a great gift," he said, placing a hand on his son's shoulder. "With the power of the horn and the loyalty of these creatures, our kingdom will be stronger than ever." As night fell, the castle buzzed with excitement and hope. Adrian knew that this was only the beginning of his adventures with the enchanted horn. With his mythical friends by his side, he was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. After the initial excitement in the castle had settled, Prince Adrian found himself eager to return to the hidden glade and further explore the mysteries it held. Accompanied by Lumina, Alien, Saphira, and Pyrrha, he set out at dawn the next day, retracing his steps through the dense forest. The journey felt different this time, with his mythical friends guiding and protecting him. As they approached the glade, the air seemed to hum with energy. The ancient tree stood tall in the center, its presence commanding respect and reverence. Adrian dismounted midnight and walked towards the tree, feeling a strange connection to it. He reached out and touched the rough bark, a sense of familiarity washing over him. "This tree is older than our kingdom," Lumina said, her voice filled with ancient wisdom. "It has witnessed countless ages and holds many secrets." Adrian nodded, intrigued by the tree's history. "I feel like it called to me," he confessed, "like it wanted me to find the horn." "Indeed," Pyrrha said, her fiery feathers glowing softly. "The tree and the horn are bound by ancient magic. It was destined to be found by one worthy of its power." Adrian stepped closer to the hollow where he had found the horn. The faint, warm light still glowed within, as if inviting him to delve deeper into its secrets. With his mythical friends watching over him, he knelt by the hollow and peered inside. To his surprise, the light seemed to pulse in response to his presence. He reached in again, his fingers brushing against something cool and smooth. Carefully, he pulled out a small, intricately carved wooden box. It was covered in the same symbols that adorned the horn, each marking telling a story of its own. "What is this?" Adrian wondered aloud. "Open it," Alien urged, his green eyes gleaming with curiosity. Adrian lifted the lid of the box, revealing a delicate parchment, aged and yellowed with time. Unfolding it, he found an ancient map, its edges frayed and worn. The map depicted the forest and the surrounding lands, marked with mysterious symbols and locations that seemed to pulse with hidden magic. "This map could lead us to other enchanted places," Adrian said, excitement in his voice. "Places of power and mystery." Saphira stepped forward, her amber eyes focused on the map. "It is said that the horn and its guardians have the power to uncover and protect the ancient magic of our world," she explained. "Perhaps this map is the key to understanding our true purpose." Adrian carefully placed the map back into the wooden box, his mind racing with possibilities. The discovery of the horn, and now the map, hinted at a larger destiny, one that he was only beginning to comprehend. "We should explore these locations," Adrian decided, a sense of determination filling him. "If there are other sources of ancient magic, we must ensure they are protected and used for good." His mythical friends nodded in agreement, their loyalty unwavering. Together, they made their way back to the castle, eager to plan their next steps. The forest seemed to part for them, the trees whispering secrets of ages past. As they entered the castle gates, Adrian felt a renewed sense of purpose. He knew that the journey ahead would be challenging. But with Lumina, Alien, Saphira, and Pyra by his side, he was ready to face whatever lay ahead. The ancient tree and the enchanted horn had set him on a path of discovery and adventure, one that would shape the future of his kingdom. That evening, Adrian gathered his advisors and presented the map. The room buzzed with anticipation as they studied the ancient parchment, each symbol sparking discussions of long-forgotten legends and hidden treasures. King Leopold listened intently, his pride in his son growing with each passing moment. "Adrian," the king said, his voice filled with warmth and authority, "you have shown great courage and wisdom. This map could indeed lead us to powerful allies and ancient knowledge. We will support you in this quest for the sake of our kingdom and its future." As the meeting concluded, Adrian retired to his chambers, the wooden box and its precious contents safely tucked away. He gazed out of his window at the moonlit forest, feeling a deep connection to the ancient magic that surrounded him. With the enchanted horn in his possession and the map as his guide, Adrian knew that his journey had only just begun. The mysteries of the ancient tree and the secrets it held would lead him to new adventures, new challenges, and a destiny greater than he had ever imagined. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the castle windows, casting a warm glow on Prince Adrian's face. He woke with a sense of purpose, the events of the previous day still fresh in his mind. The enchanted horn, the ancient tree, and the mysterious map had set his life on a new and exciting path. Adrian dressed quickly and made his way to the courtyard where Lumina, Alien, Saphira, and Pyra awaited him. Their presence filled him with a sense of comfort and strength. Together, they were ready to unravel the secrets of the enchanted horn and the map it had revealed. "Good morning, my friends," Adrian greeted them, his voice filled with determination. "Today we begin to understand the true power of the horn and what it can do." Lumina stepped forward, her eyes wise and knowing. "The horn is a conduit of ancient magic," she explained. "It can call upon us, the guardians of this realm, and guide us to places where our help is needed. But its power goes beyond mere summoning." Adrian nodded, eager to learn more. "How do we unlock its full potential?" he asked. "The horn's magic responds to the intentions of its bearer," Alien said, his wings rustling softly. "When blown with a pure heart and noble purpose, it can reveal hidden truths, grant protection, and even heal the land." Adrian held the horn in his hands, feeling its warmth and weight. "Then we must use it wisely," he said. "Let us begin by exploring the map and discovering what secrets it holds." With the wooden box containing the map in hand, Adrian and his mythical companions set out towards the forest once more. The castle staff watched in awe as they departed, whispers of admiration and wonder following in their wake. As they entered the forest, The air grew cooler and the light dimmer, creating an atmosphere of mystery and anticipation. Adrian led the way, the map spread out before him. The symbols and markings seemed to glow faintly, guiding their path. The first location marked on the map was a clearing deep within the forest, surrounded by towering trees and hidden from prying eyes. As they approached, Adrian felt a familiar pull, similar to the one that had led him to the ancient tree. "This place feels alive," he murmured, his eyes scanning the clearing. "It is," Saphira confirmed. "The magic of the forest is strong here. This is a place of gathering for the creatures of the realm." Adrian took a deep breath and raised the horn to his lips. The sound that emerged was pure and melodic, carrying through the trees like a gentle breeze. As the notes faded, the ground beneath them began to shimmer, and a circle of light appeared in the center of the clearing. From the light emerged a figure, tall and ethereal, with flowing robes and eyes that sparkled like stars. "Welcome, Prince Adrian," the figure said, their voice echoing with the wisdom of ages. "I am Elowen, guardian of this forest." Adrian bowed respectfully. "Greetings, Elowen. We seek to understand the power of this horn and the secrets it holds." Elowen smiled, their expression kind and knowing. "The horn is a gift from the ancient ones," they explained. "It connects you to the very essence of the land and its magic. Through it, you can call upon the guardians, heal the wounded, and protect the innocent." Adrian listened intently, his heart swelling with the responsibility that lay before him. "How can we use it to help our kingdom?" he asked. "The map you carry will lead you to places of great power," Elowen said. "Follow its guidance, and you will uncover the ancient magic that can aid your people. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Use it wisely and always with a pure heart." Adrian nodded, understanding the gravity of Elowen's words. "Thank you, Elowen. We will honor this gift and use it for the good of our kingdom." Elowen placed a hand on Adrian's shoulder, their touch warm and reassuring. "Go forth, Prince Adrian. The forest and its magic are with you." As the figure faded back into the light, Adrian felt a renewed sense of purpose. The enchanted horn was not just a tool, but a symbol of his connection to the land and its ancient magic. With Lumina, Alien, Saphira, and Pyra by his side, he was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Together, they returned to the castle, their hearts filled with hope and determination. The enchanted horn had revealed its power, and with the guidance of the map and the wisdom of Elowen, they were prepared to embark on the greatest adventure of their lives. Back at the castle, the days passed quickly as Prince Adrian and his mythical friends prepared for the journey ahead. The map, carefully studied and memorized, was their guide to the locations of ancient magic hidden throughout the kingdom. Adrian's heart swelled with a sense of purpose and excitement. knowing that each step they took would bring them closer to uncovering the secrets of the enchanted horn. One crisp morning, just as the sun began to cast its golden rays over the castle walls, a messenger arrived with urgent news. The small village of Nymeria, nestled on the edge of the forest, was under threat from a band of marauding goblins. The villagers, unprepared and terrified, had sent word to the castle, pleading for aid. Adrian's eyes met his father's as the king read the message aloud in the great hall. "This is our chance to use the power of the horn for good," Adrian said, determination clear in his voice. King Leopold nodded. "Go, my son. Take your friends and protect our people." With a sense of urgency, Adrian, Lumina, Alien, Saphira and Pyra set out towards Nymeria. The journey was swift, their combined strength and speed allowing them to cover the distance in a fraction of the time it would take a regular army. As they approached the village, the smell of smoke and the sounds of chaos grew stronger, fueling their resolve. The village was in disarray, with goblins rampaging through the streets, their shrill cries filling the air. The villagers huddled in fear, desperately trying to defend their homes. Adrian raised the enchanted horn to his lips and blew a powerful note that resonated through the valley. The sound seemed to carry with it a wave of calm and strength, emboldening the villagers and confusing the goblins. Suddenly, the ground trembled and the sky darkened as more mythical creatures answered the call of the horn. From the shadows of the forest emerged a majestic centaur, his bow drawn and eyes fierce. A pack of wolves, their eyes glowing with an ethereal light, followed, their presence commanding and protective. A giant eagle soared overhead, its wings casting a vast shadow over the battlefield. The goblins, sensing the shift in power, hesitated. Adrian, with Lumina by his side, charged forward, his sword gleaming in the sunlight. Alien and Saphira took to the skies, their powerful talons and beaks making short work of the goblins' makeshift defenses. Pyra swooped low, her fiery wings leaving trails of sparks that sent the goblins scattering. The battle was intense but swift. The goblins, overwhelmed by the combined might of the mythical creatures and the villagers' renewed courage, fled back into the depths of the forest. The villagers cheered, their faces alight with gratitude and relief. Adrian dismounted midnight and walked through the village, ensuring that everyone was safe. "Thank you," a villager said, tears of relief in her eyes. "You and your friends saved us." Adrian smiled warmly. The power of the horn is meant to protect and aid those in need. We will always answer the call. As the villagers began to rebuild, Adrian and his companions took a moment to rest. Lumina approached him, her eyes shining with pride. "You have shown great bravery, Adrian. The horn chose wisely." "We did this together," Adrian replied, looking around at his friends. "I could not have done it without you all." The centaur, who had introduced himself as Orion, approached with a respectful nod. The call of the horn is a bond of trust and unity. We are honored to fight alongside you, Prince Adrian. Adrian felt a deep sense of connection and camaraderie with the creatures around him. The enchanted horn was more than just a tool. It was a symbol of the unity between the human and mythical worlds. Together, they could overcome any challenge and protect the kingdom from any threat. As the sun set, casting a warm glow over the recovering village, Adrian knew that their journey was far from over. The map held many more secrets, and the power of the horn had many more wonders to reveal. But for now, they had taken their first step towards a future filled with hope and magic. With his mythical friends by his side and the enchanted horn in his hand, Adrian was ready to face whatever came next. The adventure had just begun, and the bond between them would only grow stronger with each challenge they overcame. The victory at Nymeria had solidified the bond between Prince Adrian and his mythical companions. News of their triumph spread quickly throughout the kingdom, and with it came a newfound sense of hope and unity. The enchanted horn had proven its worth, and the people looked to the prince and his allies with admiration and trust. As Adrian and his friends returned to the castle, they were greeted with cheers and applause. King Leopold stood at the gates, pride shining in his eyes. "You have done well, my son," he said, embracing Adrian. "The kingdom owes you and your friends a great debt." Adrian smiled, humbled by his father's praise. "We are all in this together, Father. The power of the horn and the strength of our bond with these creatures will guide us through any darkness." That evening, a grand feast was held in the great hall to celebrate their victory and honor the mythical friends who had fought bravely alongside them. The hall was adorned with banners and garlands, the air filled with laughter and music. Adrian, seated at the head table with Lumina, Aelion, Saphira, Pyra and Orion, felt a deep sense of belonging and purpose. As the night wore on, Adrian found himself in conversation with his mythical companions, learning more about their world and the ancient magic that connected them. Lumina shared stories of the unicorn's role as guardians of the forest, while Aelion and Saphira recounted their adventures in the skies. Pyra spoke of the phoenix's cycle of rebirth and renewal, and Orion explained the centaur's wisdom and their duty to protect the land. "We are all part of a greater balance," Lumina said, her voice filled with serenity. "The horn chose you, Adrian, because it sensed your noble heart and your desire to protect and unify." Adrian nodded, understanding the gravity of his role. "I will honor this gift and use it to bring peace and harmony to our kingdom." As the festivities continued, Adrian's mind wandered to the map and the locations it had revealed. Each marked place held the promise of ancient magic and untold secrets. He knew that their journey was far from over and that many challenges still lay ahead. The next morning, Adrian gathered his friends in the courtyard to discuss their next steps. The map shows several locations where we can uncover more ancient magic, he began, spreading the parchment out on a table. We need to explore these places and ensure that their power is used for good. His companions nodded in agreement. We are ready, Orion said, his eyes gleaming with determination. Together, we can protect the kingdom and discover the true potential of the horn. Their first destination was a hidden lake deep within the forest, said to be the home of a powerful water spirit. The journey was long and arduous, but the bond between Adrian and his mythical friends grew stronger with each passing day. They faced numerous challenges, from treacherous terrain to unexpected dangers. But their combined strength and unity saw them through. When they finally reached the lake, its crystal clear waters shimmered under the moonlight, casting an otherworldly glow. At the center of the lake, a small island rose, covered in lush greenery and vibrant flowers. Adrian raised the horn to his lips and blew a gentle note, the sound echoing across the water. A moment later, the surface of the lake began to ripple, and from its depths emerged a graceful figure, her form fluid and ethereal. "Welcome, Prince Adrian," she said, her voice like the gentle flow of a stream. "I am Nerea, guardian of these waters." Adrian bowed respectfully. "Greetings, Nerea. We seek to understand the power of the horn and the magic it connects us to." Nerea smiled, her eyes reflecting the moonlight. "The horn is a key to the ancient magic that binds our world. Each place you visit will reveal more of its secrets and strengthen your bond with the land and its creatures." As they spoke, Adrian felt a profound sense of peace and purpose. The journey ahead would be filled with challenges, but with his mythical friends by his side and the guidance of the horn, he knew they could overcome anything. With Nerea's blessing, they departed the lake, their hearts filled with hope and determination. The enchanted horn had brought them together, and their shared destiny would lead them to uncover the ancient magic that could protect their kingdom and ensure its future. As they made their way back to the castle, Adrian looked at his friends, their bond unbreakable and their resolve unwavering. The adventure had only just begun, and with each step, they moved closer to a future filled with wonder, magic, and unity. Chapter 2: The Prince's Quest. Days turned into weeks, and Prince Adrian and his mythical friends continued to explore the ancient magic hidden within the kingdom. Each journey brought new discoveries and strengthened their bond. The enchanted horn had proven to be a powerful ally, guiding them to places of wonder and danger alike. One morning, as the sun cast its golden rays over the castle, a messenger arrived with grave news. Adrian and his companions were summoned to the Great Hall, where King Leopold awaited them with a furrowed brow. "My son," the king began, his voice tinged with worry, "our kingdom faces a dire threat. A dark sorcerer has risen in the east, amassing an army of shadows and spreading fear among our people. His power grows with each passing day, and if left unchecked, he will bring ruin to our land. Adrian listened intently, his heart heavy with the weight of the news. "What can we do to stop him, Father?" he asked, his voice steady despite the turmoil inside. King Leopold sighed, his eyes filled with a mix of hope and fear. The sorcerer draws his power from an ancient artifact, a dark mirror hidden within the crystal cave. To defeat him, we must destroy the mirror and sever his connection to the dark magic. Adrian nodded, determination hardening his resolve. "We will embark on this quest, Father. The enchanted horn and our mythical friends will guide us." Lumina, standing beside Adrian, spoke with a voice full of wisdom. "The path to the crystal cave is fraught with peril, but together we can overcome any challenge and bring light back to the kingdom." King Leopold placed a hand on Adrian's shoulder, his eyes brimming with pride. "Go with my blessing, my son. May the strength of our ancestors and the power of the horn protect you on this journey." With their mission clear, Adrian and his companions set out towards the east. The journey was long and arduous, but their spirits remained high. The landscape changed from rolling hills and lush forests to rocky terrain and shadowy valleys. Each step brought them closer to the sorcerer's lair, and the sense of danger grew with every passing day. One evening, as they made camp under the stars, Elian and Sapphira kept watch from the sky, their keen eyes scanning the horizon for any signs of threat. Adrian sat by the fire, the map spread out before him, its markings glowing faintly in the dim light. "We must be cautious," Pyra said, her fiery wings casting a warm glow over the group. "The sorcerer's magic is strong, and he will not relinquish his power easily." Adrian nodded, his eyes fixed on the map. "The crystal cave lies at the heart of the darkwood forest. We must find a way to navigate its treacherous paths and confront the sorcerer before his army overwhelms our kingdom." Orion, the centaur, stepped forward, his bow slung across his back. "The forest is a place of ancient magic, both dark and light. We must be prepared for anything." As dawn broke the next day, they continued their journey, the trees growing thicker and the air colder as they ventured deeper into the darkwood forest. The sense of foreboding was palpable, but Adrian's resolve never wavered. He knew that the fate of the kingdom rested on their shoulders, and he was determined to see their quest through to the end. The forest was alive with the sounds of creatures unseen, and the shadows seemed to move with a life of their own. But the presence of his mythical friends gave Adrian strength. Lumina's light guided their path, while Alien and Sapphira's watchful eyes kept them safe from above. Pyra's flames warded off the encroaching darkness, and Orion's wisdom helped them navigate the treacherous terrain. As they approached the entrance to the crystal cave, A sense of urgency filled the air. The cave's mouth yawned open before them, its crystalline walls shimmering with an eerie glow. Adrian raised the enchanted horn to his lips and blew a soft melodic note. The sound echoed through the cave, filling it with a sense of hope and determination. "We are ready," Adrian said, his voice firm. "Together, we will face the sorcerer and protect our kingdom." With a final nod of determination, they stepped into the cave, the glow of the crystals illuminating their path. The adventure ahead was filled with unknown dangers, but Adrian knew that with his mythical friends by his side and the power of the horn guiding them, they could overcome any obstacle. The fate of the kingdom hung in the balance, and the quest to destroy the dark mirror and defeat the sorcerer had just begun. The air grew colder as Prince Adrian and his companions ventured deeper into the darkwood forest. The trees, ancient and towering, cast long shadows that danced in the dim light. Each step they took was filled with a mixture of anticipation and caution, their senses alert to the dangers that lurked in the darkness. Lumina walked beside Adrian, her presence a beacon of hope. "The forest is alive with old magic," she whispered. "We must tread carefully and stay vigilant." Adrian nodded, his eyes scanning the path ahead. "We have faced many challenges together, and we will overcome this one as well," he said, determination in his voice. Alien and Saphira soared above, their keen eyes watching for any signs of danger. Pyra flew alongside them, her fiery wings leaving trails of light that illuminated their way. Orion, his bow at the ready, led the ground team with a warrior's grace. As they moved through the forest, the sound of rushing water grew louder. They soon came upon a wide river, its waters turbulent and frothy. A rickety bridge spanned the river, swaying precariously with each gust of wind. "We must cross the bridge to reach the other side," Orion said, his voice steady. "But be wary. This bridge has seen better days." Adrian approached the bridge, feeling the wooden planks creak under his weight. He turned to his companions, concern etched on his face. "We need to cross quickly but carefully. I'll go first to ensure it's safe." With a deep breath, Adrian stepped onto the bridge, each step calculated and cautious. The bridge swayed dangerously, but he kept his focus, moving steadily across. Lumina followed, her light steps barely making a sound. One by one, the others crossed, their eyes fixed on Adrian's progress. Halfway across, a sudden gust of wind sent the bridge into a violent sway. Adrian gripped the ropes tightly, his heart pounding. "Hold on!" he called out, his voice steady despite the danger. Just as they were nearing the other side, a dark shape emerged from the shadows. A fearsome troll, its eyes gleaming with malice, blocked their path. "Who dares to cross my bridge?" the troll bellowed, its voice rumbling like thunder. Adrian stepped forward, his sword drawn. We seek passage to the crystal cave. We mean no harm and only wish to pass." The troll laughed, a deep, menacing sound. "No one crosses my bridge without a toll, and I do not accept mere words as payment." Orion readied his bow, his eyes fixed on the troll. "We do not wish to fight, but we will if necessary," he warned. Before the troll could respond, Alien and Saphira swooped down, their talons glinting in the light. Pyra circled above, her fiery presence a stark contrast to the troll's dark aura. "We have the power of the horn," Adrian said, raising it high. "Stand down or face the consequences." The troll hesitated, its eyes narrowing. It could sense the power of the horn and the unity of the group. With a growl of frustration, it stepped aside. "Very well," it grumbled. "But beware, the path ahead is fraught with danger." Adrian and his companions quickly crossed the bridge, the tension easing as they reached solid ground. "Thank you for your help," Adrian said, looking at his friends with gratitude. "We must continue onward." The path ahead wound through dense thickets and over rocky terrain. The forest seemed to close in around them, the air thick with the scent of earth and foliage. As night fell, they made camp, the flickering fire casting dancing shadows on the trees. "We are close," Lumina said, her voice a soothing presence. "The crystal cave is just beyond the next ridge. Rest now, for tomorrow we face our greatest challenge yet." Adrian nodded, his mind racing with thoughts of the battle ahead. He knew that the dark sorcerer would not give up his power easily, but he was ready to confront whatever lay in their path. With his mythical friends by his side and the enchanted horn in his hand, he felt a deep sense of purpose and resolve. As the fire crackled and the stars shone brightly above, Adrian closed his eyes, letting the sounds of the forest lull him to sleep. The journey was far from over, but with each step they moved closer to their goal. Together they would face the darkness and bring light back to their kingdom. The dawn broke with a muted light, the thick canopy of the darkwood forest allowing only slivers of sunlight to pierce through. Prince Adrian and his companions woke early, their spirits steeled for the challenges that lay ahead. The memory of the troll and the precarious bridge lingered, but the thought of the crystal cave spurred them onward. After a quick meal, they set out, the forest growing denser and more foreboding with each step. The air was cool and damp, the ground beneath their feet soft with moss and fallen leaves. The path twisted and turned, leading them through narrow passages and over rocky outcrops. Despite the difficulties, Adrian felt a sense of unity with his friends. Each obstacle they overcame only strengthened their bond. As they approached the next ridge, the trees began to thin, revealing a wide clearing. In the center of the clearing stood another bridge, this one ancient and imposing, its stone arches covered in vines and moss. The bridge spanned a deep chasm, the bottom lost to darkness. A sense of unease settled over the group as they approached. Adrian raised a hand, signaling for them to stop. "This must be the Guardian's bridge," he said, his voice low. "We must be prepared for whatever challenges await." From the shadows at the far end of the bridge, a figure emerged. Tall and clad in shimmering armor, the Guardian exuded an aura of power and authority. His eyes, sharp and piercing, fixed on Adrian and his companions as he stepped forward. "Who seeks passage across my bridge?" the Guardian demanded, his voice echoing through the clearing. Adrian stepped forward, his posture respectful but firm. "I am Prince Adrian, and these are my friends. We seek the Crystal Cave to confront a dark sorcerer who threatens our kingdom. We mean no harm and request safe passage." The Guardian's eyes narrowed. "Many have sought the cave, but few have returned. The path is perilous, and only those of true heart and noble intent may pass. You must prove your worth." Lumina stepped beside Adrian, her presence a calming influence. "We are ready to face any challenge," she said, her voice serene. "We seek to protect and bring light to our kingdom." The Guardian considered her words, then nodded. "Very well. To prove your worth, you must face 3 trials. Only then will you be deemed worthy to cross." Adrian and his friends exchanged determined glances. "We accept your challenge," Adrian said, his voice steady. The Guardian raised his hand, and the first trial began. The ground before them trembled, and from the depths of the chasm rose a torrent of water, forming a roaring river that threatened to sweep them away. "Your first trial is the trial of strength," the Guardian declared. "You must find a way to cross the river without being swept away." Alien and Saphira took to the skies, their powerful wings beating against the wind. "We will create a bridge of air," Alien said, his voice resolute. "Hold on to us, and we will carry you across." One by one, Adrian and his companions grasped the griffin's talons, their trust unwavering. With a mighty effort, Alien and Saphira lifted them into the air, carrying them safely to the other side. The river's roar faded behind them, and they landed gently on solid ground. The Guardian nodded in approval. "You have passed the first trial. Now, for the trial of wisdom." Before them appeared a labyrinth, its walls high and impenetrable. "You must navigate the labyrinth and find the heart," the Guardian instructed. Orion stepped forward, his eyes scanning the maze. "I will guide us," he said, his voice calm. The centaurs are known for their keen sense of direction and wisdom. With Orion leading, they entered the labyrinth. The passages twisted and turned, but Orion's instincts proved true. They moved swiftly, following his guidance until they reached the heart of the maze, where a glowing crystal awaited. Adrian touched the crystal, and the labyrinth dissolved, leaving them once again before the Guardian. "You have passed the second trial," the Guardian said. "Now for the final trial, the trial of courage. The ground beneath them shifted, and they found themselves on the edge of a cliff, the abyss below filled with swirling shadows. To pass this trial, you must leap into the unknown, trusting in your courage and your companions. Adrian looked at his friends, their expressions unwavering. "We are ready," he said. "Together, we can face anything." With a deep breath, Adrian led the way, leaping off the cliff into the shadows. One by one, his companions followed, their trust in each other and their courage guiding them. As they fell, the shadows parted, and they landed softly on solid ground, the trial complete. The guardian appeared before them, a look of respect in his eyes. "You have proven your worth," he said. "You may cross the bridge and continue your quest. May the light guide you and the strength of your bond see you through." With the trials behind them, Adrian and his companions crossed the bridge, their hearts filled with resolve. The crystal cave awaited, and the final confrontation with the dark sorcerer loomed. Together, they would face the darkness and bring light to their kingdom. The bridge behind them, Prince Adrian and his companions now stood before the entrance to the crystal cave. Its mouth yawned wide, a dark void fringed with glimmering crystalline formations that reflected the faint light of their torches. The air was cool and damp, and the faint sound of dripping water echoed from within. "Are we ready?" Adrian asked, his voice steady but laced with anticipation. "We are," Lumina replied, her gentle glow illuminating the path ahead. "Let us proceed with caution." They stepped into the cave, their footsteps echoing off the walls. The interior was vast and awe-inspiring, with stalactites hanging like ancient chandeliers from the ceiling and stalagmites rising from the ground like silent sentinels. The crystals embedded in the walls shimmered in the torchlight, casting a myriad of colors that danced across the stone. As they ventured deeper, the path grew narrower, the air heavier with the scent of earth and minerals. The faint glow of the crystals provided a surreal light, guiding their way through the labyrinthine tunnels. Adrian felt the weight of the journey pressing on him, but the presence of his friends gave him strength. Suddenly, the path opened into a vast chamber. At its center stood a large, ornate mirror, its surface dark and foreboding. Shadows seemed to writhe within its glass, giving it an aura of malevolent power. Surrounding the mirror were dark figures, their eyes glowing with a sinister light. The dark sorcerer stood before them, his presence commanding and malevolent. "So, the prince has come," the sorcerer sneered, his voice dripping with contempt. "Did you truly think you could defeat me?" Adrian stepped forward, the enchanted horn in his hand. "Your reign of terror ends here. We will destroy the mirror and sever your connection to the dark magic." The sorcerer laughed, a harsh, grating sound. "You are a fool to challenge me. My power is beyond your comprehension." Without another word, the sorcerer raised his staff, and the dark figures surged forward. The battle began in earnest, the chamber echoing with the clash of steel and the roar of magic. Adrian blew the horn, its pure melodic sound cutting through the chaos and summoning the strength of his mythical friends. Lumina charged, her horn glowing with the fierce light, dispelling the shadows that sought to envelop them. Alien and Saphira soared above, their talons striking with precision and power. Pyra swooped low, her fiery wings leaving trails of flame that incinerated the dark figures. Orion loosed arrow after arrow, each finding its mark with unerring accuracy. Adrian fought bravely, his sword flashing in the dim light. The power of the horn and the unity of his friends gave him the strength to push forward, each strike bringing them closer to the mirror. The dark sorcerer, sensing his impending defeat, unleashed a torrent of dark magic, but the combined might of the mythical creatures shielded them. With a final desperate blow, Adrian reached the mirror. He raised his sword high, the enchanted horn glowing brightly in his hand. "This ends now!" he cried, bringing the sword down upon the mirror's surface. The mirror shattered with a deafening crash, the shards exploding outward in a burst of dark energy. The chamber was filled with a blinding light, and the dark figures dissolved into nothingness. The sorcerer let out a final, anguished scream before crumbling into dust. As the light faded, silence filled the chamber. The mirror lay in ruins, its dark power broken. Adrian and his companions stood victorious, their breaths heavy with exhaustion, but their hearts filled with triumph. "We did it," Adrian said, his voice hoarse but filled with relief. "The sorcerer is defeated, and the dark magic is no more." Lumina stepped forward, her eyes filled with pride. "Your courage and determination have saved the kingdom, Adrian. The bond we share is stronger than any dark magic." The journey back to the castle was filled with a sense of accomplishment and joy. The enchanted horn had guided them through their darkest hour, and the unity of their friendship had seen them through. As they emerged from the forest and into the light, the kingdom welcomed them with open arms. King Leopold met them at the gates, his eyes brimming with pride and gratitude. "You have done it, my son. You have saved us all." Adrian smiled, looking at his friends. "We did it together, Father. The power of the horn and the strength of our bond have brought us victory." As they celebrated their triumph, Adrian knew that the adventure was far from over. The enchanted horn still held many secrets, and the kingdom would always need protectors. But for now, they basked in the glory of their success, ready to face whatever challenges the future might bring. The victory over the dark sorcerer was celebrated throughout the kingdom, but Prince Adrian and his companions knew their work was not yet done. Despite the destruction of the dark mirror, remnants of the sorcerer's magic lingered, casting shadows over the land. There were still those who sought to wield dark power, and it was their duty to ensure the safety and peace of the kingdom. word reached them of a final stronghold, a fortress hidden deep within the mountains, where the last of the sorcerer's followers had gathered. Determined to rid the kingdom of this lingering threat, Adrian and his companions prepared for their final battle. The journey to the fortress was arduous, the path treacherous and steep. The air grew thin and cold as they ascended, the landscape becoming more desolate with each step. But the bond they shared and the purpose that drove them kept their spirits high. At last, they reached the fortress, its dark silhouette looming against the grey sky. The walls were high and imposing, guarded by the sorcerer's minions. Adrian raised the enchanted horn, blowing a long, resonant note that echoed through the mountains. The sound was a call to arms, a rallying cry for courage and unity. As the horn's melody faded, the gates of the fortress creaked open, and a horde of dark figures poured out. Their eyes glowing with malevolence, Adrian drew his sword, his heart steady with determination. "For the kingdom!" he shouted, charging forward with his friends by his side. Lumina led the charge, her horn glowing with a radiant light that dispelled the shadows. Elian and Saphira attacked from above, their talons and beaks striking with fierce precision. Pyra's flames burned bright, creating a barrier of fire that drove the minions back. Orion's arrows flew true, each shot finding its mark. The battle raged fiercely, the clash of steel and the roar of magic filling the air. Adrian fought with all his strength, the enchanted horn guiding his every move. Despite the ferocity of their enemies, the unity and strength of his companions turned the tide in their favor. As they pressed forward, the leader of the dark followers emerged, a tall figure clad in black armor, wielding a staff crackling with dark energy. His eyes burned with hatred as he faced Adrian. "You may have destroyed our master, but you will not defeat us," he snarled. Adrian met his gaze, unwavering. "Your reign of darkness ends here," he declared. "The power of the horn and the unity of our friendship will prevail." With a final, powerful note from the horn, Adrian charged at the dark leader. Their blades clashed, sparks flying as they fought. The leader's dark magic surged, but Adrian's resolve was unbreakable. With each strike, he drew closer to victory. Suddenly, Lumina charged, her horn piercing the leader's armor and breaking his concentration. Elian and Saphira swooped down, their combined attack disarming him. Pyra's flames engulfed the staff, reducing it to ash. Orion loosed a final arrow, striking the leader's heart. The dark leader fell to the ground, his body dissolving into shadows that were swept away by the wind. The remaining minions, seeing their leader defeated, fled in terror, leaving the fortress empty and silent. Adrian lowered his sword, breathing heavily. "It's over," he said, looking at his friends with a mixture of relief and pride. "The kingdom is safe once more." The fortress, once a place of darkness, now stood empty and desolate. The remnants of the sorcerer's power had been vanquished, and peace had been restored to the land. Adrian and his companions gathered their strength and began the journey home, their hearts filled with the satisfaction of a mission accomplished. As they descended the mountain, the sky cleared, revealing a brilliant sunset that painted the landscape in hues of gold and crimson. It was a symbol of the new dawn that awaited the kingdom, a future bright with promise and hope. When they returned to the castle, they were greeted with cheers and celebrations. King Leopold embraced his son, his eyes filled with pride and gratitude. "You have done it, Adrian," he said. "You have brought peace to our kingdom." Adrian smiled, looking at his friends. "We did it together, Father. The power of the horn and the unity of our bond saw us through." That night, as the castle celebrated their victory, Adrian knew that their adventures were far from over. The enchanted horn still held many secrets, and there would always be new challenges to face. But with his friends by his side, he was ready for whatever the future held. The castle buzzed with joy and relief, its halls echoing with the sounds of laughter and celebration. The kingdom had been saved, and the heroes of the hour, Prince Adrian and his mythical companions, were honored with a grand feast. The great hall was adorned with banners of gold and blue, the tables laden with the finest foods and drinks. Adrian sat at the head table with King Leopold, his mythical friends by his side. As he looked around at the faces of the people he had fought to protect, a deep sense of fulfillment settled over him. The enchanted horn had led him on a journey of discovery and courage, one that had tested his resolve and forged unbreakable bonds. The king stood, raising his goblet to address the gathered crowd. "Tonight, we celebrate the bravery and unity that have brought us victory," he declared. "To my son, Prince Adrian, and his valiant companions, we owe our deepest gratitude. Their courage and strength have restored peace to our kingdom." The hall erupted in applause, the cheers echoing through the stone walls. Adrian smiled, lifting his own goblet in a toast. "To the kingdom and to the bond of friendship that has seen us through," he said, his voice strong and clear. As the feast continued, Adrian found a moment of quiet reflection. He stepped out onto a balcony overlooking the castle grounds, the cool night air refreshing against his skin. The stars shone brightly above, a reminder of the vastness of the world and the adventures still waiting to be discovered. Lumina joined him, her presence calming and reassuring. "You have done well, Adrian," she said softly. "The kingdom is safe, and the people are filled with hope." Adrian nodded, his eyes fixed on the horizon. "I could not have done it without all of you," he replied. "The power of the horn brought us together, but it was our unity and trust that made us strong." Alien and Saphira landed gracefully beside them, their feathers rustling in the gentle breeze. "The journey has only just begun," Alien said, his eyes gleaming with excitement. "There are still many secrets to uncover and challenges to face." Orion, leaning on his bow, nodded in agreement. "We are ready for whatever comes next," he said. "The bond we share is a beacon of light in the darkness." Pyra hovered nearby, her fiery presence a symbol of renewal and resilience. "Together we can overcome any obstacle," she added. "The future is ours to shape." Adrian felt a surge of determination. The enchanted horn had led them through trials and triumphs, and he knew that it would continue to guide them on their path. "We will face whatever the future holds side by side," he said firmly. "Our journey is far from over." The next morning, as the first light of dawn touched the castle walls, Adrian and his companions prepared to set out once more. They had restored peace to the kingdom, but their hearts were filled with the call of adventure. The enchanted horn, now a symbol of their unity and strength, was a reminder that their bond was unbreakable. King Leopold bid them farewell, his eyes filled with pride. "Go with my blessing, my son," he said. "May your journey be filled with discovery and wonder." Adrian embraced his father, a sense of gratitude and purpose filling him. "We will return, father," he promised, "with new stories to tell and new wonders to share." With that, Adrian and his friends set out from the castle, the sun rising behind them. The road ahead was uncertain, but they faced it with courage and hope. The enchanted horn had brought them together, and the bond they shared would see them through any challenge. As they traveled, the landscape before them was filled with endless possibilities. The kingdom lay behind them, safe and thriving, and the world stretched out before them, waiting to be explored. Adrian knew that their journey was just beginning, and with his friends by his side, he felt ready for anything. Together, they ventured into the unknown, guided by the magic of the horn and the strength of their friendship. The adventures ahead would test their limits and reveal new wonders, but they faced them with unwavering resolve. For they were more than just a prince and his companions. They were a family, united by a bond that could never be broken. And so their story continued, a tale of courage, unity, and the enduring power of friendship. The enchanted horn, a beacon of hope and magic, led them onward, and the world awaited their next great adventure.